happened in the evening when you started to fade away. Now my heart says you're leaving. I hope to see you again someday. Why did it have to happen? Why did it end this way? You know I miss you every moment. Doesn't matter if it's night, doesn't matter if it's day. I can't stop the pain inside. This is a last goodbye.
President Trump has restored the idea of America.
Keep America great! Exclamation point.
The Dow Jones made history today, closing over 26,000 points for the first time.
This is a standout report.
He's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What magic wand do you have?
Hand me down the walking cane. Hand me down my hand. I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. The collusion delusion is over. You're fake news. Unbelievable. So dishonest.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Mr. President. Mr. President, are you...
That's enough. Put down the mic. So much winning. Everything he does.
Every day is NASCAR.
Seems to come out right.
Donald Trump, keeper of promises.
And all it moves is just keeping time. How in the world did he learn that? Oh, Lord. Oh, I have to get away. I am with you. I will fight for you. And I will win for you. America is winning again. With your help on November 3rd, 2020, can you believe? It's right around the corner. So you ready? Let's go. Let me hear it. Make America great again. Thank you, Texas. Thank you. Goodbye, Hillary. Bye.
Okay, we're back. It's Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We have a special guest sitting in, Kimmy Wise Censored, in place of Sandra today. Welcome aboard, Kimmy.
Hi. I just thought maybe I should give a quick warning to everyone. I am running on lack of sleep, not enough caffeine, and not enough knowledge. So.
That's okay. I don't think our audience.
I bet I can fake an opinion even if I don't own one already.
56 North 111W. Good morning. Fritz Ader I saw out there. I don't see a lot of people in the chat right now, but that could change. Welcome aboard.
That should change.
Alrighty, so we're going to get rolling right into it. Maybe we'll start with a couple of videos today. How about that, Kimmy?
Sounds good.
Get the crowd fired up a little bit. Oh, let's start with New Hampshire. Since today is New Hampshire and the president is on the ticket, obviously he has to be. So let's go with some New Hampshire voters here. Listen what they have to say.
All right.
We will.
And have you made up your mind as to who you will vote for?
Yes, we will. Yeah.
Do you care to share that answer?
Sure. Trump. We love Trump.
What is he doing that you like?
Well, he does a lot for the country, I believe, and he makes our 401k move, And he does a number of things that I think he does really well.
So you'll vote for President Trump?
Yeah.
On
That's exactly the opposite of what we've been told by the Democrats during the entire impeachment. It was all about him. He's trying to make money for himself, right? The exact
right.
opposite. So I
Yeah.
guess their narrative's not working. What do you think, Kimmy?
Well, their narrative doesn't seem to work very much, except for with like very fringe left people is what seems to be the trend these days. So that's good. But yeah, they always say that he's only earning money for himself. This is a man that does not accept a salary, number one. And he also gave up the rights to run and profit from his businesses, and like, but he's only in it for his money that he's earning because he's getting so rich, which of course we know is what the Democrats. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm even saying that. It's not just Democrats; it's Republicans too. Seems to be worse on the Democrat side, but they get into office and then they get rich. And he went into office and he was already rich. He didn't need this. So
That's
I
right.
didn't realize politics was so lucrative, to be honest. I haven't been following politics nearly as closely as I do now. And wow, wish I'd known.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are in the same boat that you are, that they're now following. They weren't really paying attention before, but now, thanks to Donald Trump, and I think mostly because of his Twitter and the way he says things, that people are paying attention. So that's a good thing.
I want to address the elephant in the room just in case anyone has noticed. Yes, I am drinking Starbucks. Yes, I am a communist. Sorry. Okay, yes, I am drinking Starbucks. No, I'm not a communist. It's good coffee. And it's just too obvious, so I have to address it.
Kimmy does have a black mask behind her and her Antifa outfit hanging up in the closet.
I was like, where? I thought I hid that.
Hey, Sithy, I see you out there, Iceman and RM Johns. Welcome in.
But if it makes anybody feel better, I'll probably go to Chick-fil-A this afternoon to equal it out.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay, go ahead. Enough about me. Let's talk about New Hampshire.
Okay, before we start going into New Hampshire, why don't we, I got a tweet here from Brad Parscale about the New Hampshire rally last night, the Trump rally.
I hugged Brad Parscale last year, and he is the tallest human on the face of the earth. I could not believe it.
Is he as tall as Trump?
He's like 6'100". He's really big, and he's strong too. He had a good hug. It was a good hug. I felt hugged after it was over.
Well, last night at the rally, and Brad tracks the information from the rallies, 52,559 tickets. Yikes. Holy smokes, that's more than all the Democrats got. I think double with all the Democrats have gotten at their rallies combined.
Wow, what's the population of New Hampshire?
52,559. 24,732 voters identified. 41% of them were from New Hampshire. 17% didn't vote in 2016.
17%?
17%. That's a lot.
They went from not voting to being interested in actually attending a political rally.
Right. And think about this. New Hampshire, Trump only lost it by a few thousand votes. So there's your few thousand votes right there, and then some.
How about that?
Listen to this one. 25.4% of the attendees were Democrats.
Which percent?
25.4%.
Well, I guess if you want diversity, I guess you just need to come on over to the Republican Party.
Well, that's what we keep saying every week on the show. Be nice to Democrat blue-collar workers because they are fed up, just as fed up as you and I are with the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
There are working-class Democrats. Their families have been Democrats for generations because they're union, auto workers, factory workers, etc. And they are moving over in droves because Trump's bringing back their jobs. So, got to be kind to these people.
Welcome 56 North 11. Is that your address? You doxing yourself? That makes me think of, I don't know why, this probably isn't going to turn into a good analogy when I say it, but it is in my head. I'm thinking about how, like, when I was a teenager, actually, that's not even true. I still don't wake up when I should. But like when you're a teenager and you wake up late and your mom's all mad at you because you should have gotten up a long time ago. So don't be like my mom and get mad at the other people for waking up late. At least they got out of the bed, and yes, they'll maybe clean their room later.
Yes, we have to be
now,
kind.
where's breakfast?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed on Twitter, you're seeing a lot of walkaway Democrats again.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially after what Nancy Pelosi did at the State of the Union, I think that really set off. That really set off an explosion.
Yeah,
you know,
really
the light
did.
bulb went off. Hey, he's talking about helping Americans, and the Democrats just sat there. They don't want to help Americans. They want to help themselves stay in office.
Welcome, Gary Vance.
Right?
Yeah, well, yes, and but this sitting in at the State of the Union thing, and they're wearing their white, I've got a problem with that. But my biggest problem is they did this 2 years ago. They sat in those same stupid seats, were in those same stupid ass dresses for the same fake reason. I just think that they could have picked a new color because there's more colors than just white. And we made enough fun of them last time for looking like the KKK. Do they not read our tweets?
No, apparently not.
I mean, what's wrong with blue?
Well, they're actually believing their fake polls that people wanted impeachment, that people want Trump out. It's sad that they're believing their fake polls, but recent poll that just came out from, I think it was Gallup, that said 75% are happy with the way things are going in their life. And that number is expected to climb next year. So how are you gonna beat that? 75%? Are happy with the way things are going in their personal life?
Well, I mean, I would want to see what the number was, 4, 5, 6 years ago to compare it. But 75% seems like a higher number than than I would have expected 5 years ago.
I think it's 65% are happy with the economy. It's going to be
big.
It's going to be a huge number to beat. So we have to win that House. Otherwise, you're going to see 4 more years of crap, even if Trump wins. You're going to see 4 more years of impeachment, nonstop investigations, and the Democrats won't be interested in doing anything.
No, except just impeaching the president or paying some hooker to pretend that he assaulted her in the bathroom. Or what was that crazy woman I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with New Hampshire, but that crazy woman that said that he assaulted her in some store dressing room or something. It turned out it was it's not a skit. What's it called? Like a Saturday. Oh my gosh, what a Law and Order episode. It was like
yeah.
That's like saying, and then I was on this boat and it capsized and we had to swim to the island.
she's the rape is sexy woman. That
rape is sexy, yeah.
That Anderson Cooper
please do
had
not
to cut
clip
off.
that. Anybody, I did not just say rape is sexy. It's my own opinion.
No, that's the person that Anderson Cooper had on during the interview. She actually said that.
She did.
Yes. So
I mean, I think you should keep your fantasies to yourself.
And
if rape is sexy, then why are you bitching about it?
So we're going to get out to U.S. elections, and I just want to show everybody out there, if you're looking to see who's running in your district, you go to U.S. elections, the homepage, election races, and then you can select your state. Today we're going to hit Vermont first.
That is not what you told me.
Oh, sorry. My bad. New Hampshire.
Oh, well, where are we going? You tell me.
We're going to go
What's
to
your final answer?
New Hampshire. That's where
Okay.
the race is today, right?
Sorry, I'm not good at this.
That's okay. No, I just threw you for a loop there. So the state primary is September 8th. That's really late.
Oh, wow. They barely have time to find out who won before they have to vote for the final.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how they do that. Presidential primaries, obviously, today, February 11th. So, all right, we'll go down to the state U.S. Senators. Jeanne Shaheen, Democrat, is up for re-election. We've got Dan Bolduc, retired Army Brigadier General, Afghanistan war veteran, in a primary with two other Republicans, Bryant Corky Messner, attorney, Army veteran, and Bill O'Brien, attorney, ex-State House Speaker. So we got until September to find out who the winner is of that primary. That's a long wait.
We've got until when? I'm sorry, I was
September.
looking at.
I think the
From now
primary
to September. Wow, that is a long time.
primary is in September 8th. Wow. House of Representatives. District 1 is Chris Pappas, Democrat. Obviously voted to impeach Trump, so we need to work on getting rid of Chris and retiring him. Matt Burrell. Here are the Republicans in the primary for that seat. Matt Burrell, Newtown Selectman. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Where is? Oh, I see it. Newton.
Selectman. I wonder if that's like a assemblyman or council member.
I don't know. Newtown Selectman, attorney, a defense contractor,
and
risk
specialist. Defense contractor, risk specialist. William Fowler, state representative, ex-constable, retired business manager, veteran. Matt Mayberry, ex-Dover city councilor. See, now that they call that ex-city councilor. What is a selectman? Ex-state Republican vice chair, U.S. Air Force veteran. Matt Mowers, consultant, ex-Trump White House aide, ex-New Hampshire GOP executive director. And just as a heads up, on this show, we aren't determining who is MAGA and who is not. I believe there is Chris Mack and, I'm sorry, I apologize, can't remember her name. Chris Mack is doing a show called, I think it's going to be called Mega, where they're going to go through all the candidates in the primaries.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, I heard that on Pirate Radio, so if you want to find out who the candidates are that are MAGA and supporting Trump 100%, you'll have to check out Chris's show. It'll be up shortly, I assume. He's brought out the name, and it's somebody from Ladies of Liberty is on with Chris.
Okay, either Meg or Karen or
be
Janet.
Karen. It was
Say
Karen.
again?
Yep. Karen. It would have been Karen.
Okay.
And she does she does a really good job of investigating all of the candidates.
Yeah, they were a big part of Campaign Corner a couple years ago, and they, from what I could tell, they did do a good job.
Yes.
So.
District 2, we have Ann Custer, Democrat, obviously voted for impeachment since all the Democrats did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except for one, that would have been Van Drew, but he's Republican now.
Right.
Lynn Blankenbecker, nurse, ex-state representative, Afghanistan war veteran. Eli Clemmer, school librarian. Steve Negron, businessman, ex-state representative, U.S. Air Force retired officer. And Andrew Olding, mechanical engineer. And that's it for New Hampshire. And make sure you go out and vote for Trump.
Yeah, and this really is a good website. I'm going to say the name of it again, uselections.com. Anybody that is looking for this information, I like the way this website's laid out.
Very
Because
easy.
it just, wait a minute. The New Hampshire governor, I just have to call your attention to this. Chris Sununu is a Republican currently in office. His opponents are nobody, who is a Republican, a libertarian activist, which doesn't make sense necessarily. And in parentheses, it says formerly named Rich Paul. So someone who no longer has a name, but used to be called Rich Paul, is running for governor.
Nobody.
I just wanted to point that out.
His name is Nobody.
Yeah, so I think that's fabulous. And if I lived in New Hampshire, I would be tempted to vote for him.
Well, from what I hear, Trump is backing Chris Sununu, and he's doing.
Well, it's hard to back nobody.
Yeah. It wasn't there a movie where somebody ran as none of the above and won?
Maybe so. I know Boogie's given a story about. I can't remember if it was in the UK or in Australia. I think it was UK, where I think they ran as nobody or something like that, and it was like there was a certain percentage of people who basically said they would rather have nobody than
they voted for nobody.
The people who were running. Anyway, I'm sorry. That just distracted me, and I had to say it.
I just added 100 lemons to the chest, everybody. So good luck. And Ed Boa, thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you for the ice creams. Gary Vance, thank you.
We love ice cream. I have orange flavored ice cream in my freezer. I can't wait.
Orange flavored.
We'll call it sherbet.
Is that a reference? Did you buy it because of Trump? They call him Orange Man, or?
No, I bought it because of my mother. She taught me when I was a child to love ice. What's it called? Dreamsicles.
Oh, okay, creamsicles.
And I bought orange ice cream, I bought orange sherbet and vanilla ice cream so I could eat them together. Okay, enough about my freezer. I'm sorry.
Okay, where do you want to go next, Kimmy?
Oh, well, who? I don't know. How do we do this? Do we go to? Do we? Nobody else is voting today, to your knowledge, or?
Not that I'm aware of. No, not only New Hampshire.
And do we know anybody that's coming up soon, or are we done for a while?
South Carolina, I think, is next.
Oh, home of the Gamecocks.
So we can go there.
My sister's state. Yeah, South Carolina sounds good.
And I'll let you go through. Just let them know what the primary date is, and then we can go down to the congressional races.
All right. South Carolina. Okay, so the state primary is June the 9th. Republican delegates. Okay, so, and then go down to the governor is Henry McMaster. Okay, so go down to what?
Well, I think there's a Senate race there.
Oh, I see it. U.S. senators. Okay. Oh, that's right. Of course. Oh my gosh. Like, oh, Lindsey Graham. I know him. Okay, so Lindsey Graham is the incumbent. His next election is this year, so he'll be the one. So do we say who's running against him?
Well, it looks like he's being
and the Democrats.
It looks like he's being primaried, but we don't tell anybody who the Democrats are because we don't want them in office.
Right. Okay. Well, plus it's not like they can't click on the website themselves. If you want it, you got to work for it.
Yes. We are 100% biased on this show, just to get that out of the way. We aren't going to tell you who the Democrats are. If you want to find them, go look yourself.
That's right. Okay, so Dwayne Duke Buckner, he's an attorney, ex Walterboro city councilman, and ex teacher. Everybody's an ex. Johnny Garcia has nothing under his name. Peggy Candies is a Republican. Business parts manager. What's a business part? Anyway, business parts manager. That makes no sense to me. An ex-interior decorator and an artist. Michael LaPierre. He's an author, pastor, nonprofit group executive, and a retired businessman. Joe Reynolds is a Marine engineer. Eddie White, corporate sales manager and Trump campaign activist.
Wow, you know what we noticed over the last couple of weeks? A lot of just regular people, non-attorneys running. Interesting.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We've got enough attorneys.
Yes, too many attorneys in Congress.
Yeah, well, and if they were attorneys that would read the law correctly, that'd be something. But they're not. They're attorneys who just learn how to circumvent the law as written, like to find the holes. So.
Well, they write the law in such a convoluted way, nobody can understand what the hell they wrote.
That's true too. Okay, Tim Scott is not being primaried and nobody's voting against him. Oh, okay, never mind. Forget that I said anything because he doesn't go back up for election till 2022. So I just want to say he's adorable. U.S. House of Representatives. In District 1 is Joe Cunningham. He's a Democrat, so we need to get him out of office. He's being, whatever you call it, by Mike Covert, which is a bad name for a politician, but okay. Beaufort County councilman and an HVAC contractor. Chris Cox is a political organizer and Trump campaign activist. Jameson Johnson is an insurance agent. Kathy Landing, Mount Pleasant Town councilwoman, financial advisor. And Nancy there's three more. Nancy Mace, state representative, businesswoman, and author. And Brad Mole, city business development coordinator. And Phil Norris, nuclear technologist and Navy veteran.
Wow, no attorneys there. I'm going to assume that Chris Cox is probably the MAGA candidate, but we'll leave that up to Chris and Karen to figure out who the MAGA candidates are.
Yeah, I mean, this according to this little tiny bit of information we have, he's certainly presenting himself as one on this thing.
And we are seeing a lot of that, Kimmy. Trump campaign activists. Mm-hmm. We're seeing a lot of those, but there are thousands of them. So, it looks nice, but there are thousands of Trump campaign activists. You gotta assume he supports Trump, but we don't know.
Well, but
and we'll leave that to, like I said, not Kimmy, but Karen and Chris to determine that, I think. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, and another thing is, we've seen people turn on him within his own cabinet. So why do we think that one activist isn't going to turn too? I'm not suggesting that Chris Cox has or would. But, and then also we've seen people say, that they love and adore Trump, but turns out they don't. So, okay. District 2, AG Joe Wilson. He's been in office since 2001. I don't know why I haven't read about the rest of them. This is the 2nd district. It's Adair Burritt. I'm sorry. Forget I said those names. Nobody's running against him when you go vote, but for AG Joe Wilson. Wait, is he Democrat or Republican? He's Republican. Yeah, we got to keep him in office. District 3 is Jeff Duncan. He's Republican. He's been in since 2011, and he's not being primaried. William Timmons has been in since 2019, so about 5 minutes. And there's no Republican running against him either. Ralph Norman, since 2017, no Republicans running against him. Jim Clyburn, he's been in office since 1993. He's a Democrat, but we don't have any Republicans running against him. But there's a independent who is an Amazon employee.
And Clyburn is the House Majority Whip.
Oh, yes, right. I did. Okay, that's right. That's what.
So he was responsible for whipping up the votes for Nancy Pelosi's sham impeachment.
Yeah. So if you're in District 6, think about that. District 7 is Tom Rice, been in office since 2013. He's a Republican, and the only other Republican running against him is DeJuan Huggins, who is a weather forecaster and a transgender rights activist. There's their state flag.
Okay, I got some more videos that we can play here before we decide on going to another state, and this is from the Trump War Room. I think we'll address the Michael Bloomberg issue that's hot right now. Trump War Room texts. This recent rant is shocking. Mike Bloomberg thinks all the crime is in the minority neighborhoods. He bragged about targeting minorities and kids, saying throw them up against the wall and frisk them. I don't think this is the worst of what he said that just came out, because now people are digging, obviously. But here we go.
95% of your murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can just take the description, Xerox it, and pass it out to all the cops. They are male minorities, 15 to 25. That's true in New York. It's true in virtually every city. And that's where the real crime is. You've got to get the guns out of the hands of the people that get killed. So you've got to, if you want to spend the money, put a lot of cops in the street, put those cops where the crime is, which means in the minority neighborhood.
Hold on. Did I just misread this? You've got to get the guns out of the hands of the people that are getting killed?
Yes, that is exactly what he said. And I thought that made a lot of sense, almost as much sense as trying to control their money because they're not responsible enough to do it themselves.
I guess you can take that statement one of two ways. If you've gotten killed, they're taking your gun anyway.
I reckon.
Right?
I mean, that is what that said, which is, and I want to just go ahead and say for the record that I was joking. That makes no sense whatsoever.
So if you've been killed, I don't know. I guess it doesn't make any sense to me. But don't let him fool you with that. You know, he's trying to say we need to, I think what he's trying to say is we need to get the guns, the illegal guns, out of people's hands. But that's not what he's going to do. He's going to take all the guns, like all the Democrats want to do, like in Virginia.
Well, and maybe it does make sense that people who are getting killed, maybe he's wanting to take the guns away from the future victims before they become victims, so that they can be more easily killed by those who would kill them.
The funny thing is, they say one thing out there, but then when they get into office, they do the exact opposite. Like my congressman in District 22 said he was not going to Washington to impeach the president or vote with Pelosi, but he voted with Pelosi over 90% of the time. So he flat out lied. Now he's out campaigning every day. He's here in the community, handing out awards and handing out money, of course, that Pelosi's funneling his way because he's in trouble, because he lied. So these guys, they lie. Just to win that seat, he flat out lied. But we'll go back with Bloomberg and finish this up.
She's going, if you want to spend the money, put a lot of cops in the street, put those cops where the crime is, which means in the minority neighborhood. So it's one of the unintended consequences is people say, oh my God, you are arresting kids for marijuana. They're all minorities. Yes, that's true. Why? Because we put all the cops in the minority neighborhoods. Yes, that's true. Why we do it? Because that's where all the crime is. And the way you get the guns out of the kids' hands is to throw them against the wall and frisk them. 95% of your.
See, I agree with, and I'll admit it, I agree with some of what he's saying, but you just can't randomly throw people up against the wall and say, I need to frisk you because you're black and you're young.
Right, because you look like you might commit a crime, or you look like you might have committed a crime, or you look like you might, I mean, yeah, that's, but then we complain about the stop and frisk idea, but now here we've got Bloomberg talking about throwing them against the wall. So hopefully they will be consistent with their views on that.
Well,
and turn on him.
Just because you're in a minority community doesn't mean your constitutional rights are thrown out the window.
That's right.
You still have constitutional rights. Why don't we go to another state? Yes,
I'm going on a vacation.
I agree, Frank. Bloomberg would be a horrible president. The first thing he's going to do is ban your large soda and your straw, like he did in New York City.
Is he the one that said people who like Chick-fil-A aren't welcome in New York or something? Was that him or was that de Blasio?
I think that was de Blasio. Andrew Cuomo also said if you're a conservative, you're not welcome in New York. Yeah. Can you believe these people? They're inclusive, though.
I know, and tolerant. Their tolerance is inspiring.
Yes. We could probably get another small state in here. Kimmy, what do you think?
Small as in landmass? Speaking of landmass, let's go to Mississippi.
Mississippi, where are you?
Since I'm a Mississippian.
I don't have my glasses.
See what we have going on here.
There you go.
The reason I said landmass is because not too long, well, actually it was a long time ago now, it was like 6 years ago. There was a hurricane that was coming up through the Gulf. And geographically, if you look at the map, you've got New Orleans right here. Well, like Louisiana, and then New Orleans is right here on the state line. And then you got Mississippi, Alabama, and then Florida. So Mississippi is between New Orleans and Alabama.
And you've got Arkansas and Tennessee too.
Not in between, not going along the Gulf.
You're surrounded by Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, and Louisiana.
The Weather Channel, the people who surely to goodness have looked at a map of the United States and at least had to do a test on what states were where, they said that this particular hurricane, I can't recall which one it was, looked like it was going to strike somewhere within the landmass between New Orleans and Alabama, between New Orleans and Mobile. That landmass is called Mississippi.
Well, since you're from Mississippi, right?
I am from that landmass.
We'll let you do Mississippi. We'll let you do that landmass today.
People made T-shirts and everything for it. It was so funny. Okay, so in Mississippi, our state primary is March 10th. Our presidential primary is March 10th. Okay, our governor is Tate Reeves, but he hasn't been the governor for very long, so he'll Okay, wait. Senators. Our senators currently, let's see, Cindy Hyde Smith, who's been in office since 2018, but she was put in with during a special election. So she is up for re-election in 2020. So she's got Josh Randall running against her. He's a businessman and an ex-Miss America organization president. Okay. Cindy Hyde Smith, she used to be the agricultural something. All right, Roger Wicker is our other senator, and his next election is not till 2024. So there's really not much going on in Mississippi, which is basically how that always works. There's never anything going on in Mississippi, but the main reason I wanted to even talk about Mississippi was because Pompeo recently was talking to governors, like a governors association meeting or something, the National Governors Association. And he was telling them about how China has been courting the governors of America and how they have a list of those who were considered friendly to China, ambiguous to China, or hardliners, meaning they weren't interested in dealing with China. And one of the things that China was doing was they were trying to control on a local level whether or not Taiwan was even considered its own country. And they were threatening different entities within the states, and the governors were one of those entities. Our governor was planning on going to Taiwan for whatever reason, and China sent our governor a warning that they would cancel their investment if he went to Taiwan, and he went to Taiwan. That made me happy. I was glad that we finally did something right. Didn't cave to China. So that made me feel good. Of course, that's not our same governor anymore. We just elected Tate Reeves to replace him. So we'll see what happens with him. But
I wonder how many governors like Andrew Cuomo, Gavin Newsom, if they are overly friendly to China.
I bet there's a good number of them, a very good number of them. And I imagine the ones you named are probably compliant when it comes to China. Who would replace Collins in the House seat? Doug Collins. Oh, the House seat? I thought Collins.
I think Collins is running for Senate now.
Okay. See, I was mixed up on that. For some reason, I was thinking that he had replaced Jeff Sessions' seat. That he had filled Jeff Sessions' seat. So he's not a senator. No, Doug Collins is a senator. I'm almost positive about that.
We do have some open races in Mississippi for Congress, congressional seats.
You want me to finish what I was doing? All right. House of Representatives. All right, District 1. Trent Kelly is a Republican. He's been in office since 2015. He's not being primaried. Benny Thompson is my whatever he is, congressman. And oh my gosh, if we could get him out of office, it would be so beautiful. He's been in office since 1993. So people running against him are Tom Carey, who's a realtor, Brian Flowers, a nuclear plant technician and a Navy veteran, and B.C. Hammond, an insurance agent and farmer. I think I know who I would vote for if it comes down to, when it comes down to it. This Benny Thompson dude is crazy. I mean, there are people in Congress who make him look sane, but this one is bananas. He said in the middle of a meeting thing that Congress people have, so he got mad at the way somebody, he didn't like what somebody was saying, and he said, "Yo, mama," Anyway, okay. District 3, Michael Guest. He's been in office since 2019. Running against James Tulp, who is a radio talk show host and college professor. I recognize his name. District 4 is Stephen Palazzo. Been in office since 2011. He's a Republican. And people running against him are Carl Boyenton, a produce store owner, Robert Deming, Biloxi City Council president and attorney, and Samuel Hickman, research analyst and ex-congressional aide.
And to answer Frank 45's question about Georgia, on Collins, who's running for his seat? I'll scroll down there for you, Frank.
Oh, you know what, Frank? You're right. I mean, I knew that Sessions was in Alabama, but Collins, you said Doug Collins, and in my mind, I went to Doug Jones. Yeah. So, yeah, that's right.
It says Georgia District 9. It doesn't say he's running for Senate here yet, but maybe it's not updated. Doug Collins, you said, right?
Yeah.
So District 9, Michael Bogus, construction foreman. Kevin Tanner, state representative, businessman, ex-Dawson County manager, ex-police officer. John Wilkinson, ex-state senator, ex-state education department official. That's who's running. So Collins, they said District 27 somewhere, but no, it's got to be District 7 or District 9. Sorry. So that's who's running. I got it up on the screen there for you, Frank. Now we don't know which one is MAGA. We're going to leave that to Karen and Chris Mack to go through and research. We're just trying to get the names out there of all the Republicans winning so that we can get the House back. And with that said, why don't we jump to a video here? I had another Trump video here. Oh, here's from the rally last night. This is from New Hampshire.
Defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Should I start singing this like Boogie? I'm proud to be an American.
He loves that song.
Oh, he does. He absolutely, Boogie Bumper loves this song.
Yeah, in fact, I used to not like it. And he really,
What's that?
I used to not like it very much, and he really opened my eyes to the beauty of it.
This is the entire speech, so we're not going to play 59 minutes of Trump, but let's get to
that decision.
Let's get to the open here. Let's hear what he had to say when he opened.
Hello, Manchester, and I am thrilled to be in the great state of New Hampshire.
I'm just going to play a couple minutes of this so that you can see the size of the crowd for New Hampshire. This is huge. I think the crowd total beat the Elton John concert for that stadium. Yep. Can you believe it?
Wow.
With thousands of hardworking patriots who believe in God, family, and country. Thank you, thank you. And I'll tell you what, we have more in this arena, and I hate to say this to you, we have more than this outside of the arena trying to get in. So if you'd like to give up your seat or where you're standing, sorry we couldn't get your seats. But if you want to give it up, let them come in, you go out. Does anybody want to make that deal? I don't think so. But we have more in this arena and outside of this arena than all of the other candidates, meaning the Democrats, put together and multiplied times 5. And the fake news, these guys will never report that. They'll never report it. They don't even like showing the crowd. They always show my face. They never show the crowd. But you know what? The people can hear the crowd. The people can hear the crowd. They know.
Now look at that crowd. They're all the way up into the rafters.
I've been to 3, and the first one I went to, we didn't get there in time. Only got there 2 hours early, and this was the beginning before you knew that it was going to be so full. My goodness, look at that. But it was an overflow, but it was also, a high school gym or whatever. So, but we ended up sitting in the football stadium, and that was so much fun. And then I went to 2 more after that, and it's standing room only. And I was watching this little girl person on Periscope last night, and she was a liberal, well, a feminist, and she was saying that she has watched like one Trump rally, and she couldn't hardly stand it. There was just so much hate and so much this, and I do not like. It's a complete disconnect. Like that, like she and I will. There's no middle ground there at all, because when I've been to 3, like I said, and not a single moment of hate. Even the people who were protesting, the 3 people who were protesting at the first one I went to, they just kind of stood at the end of the football field with their little signs making fun of his hair, and nobody cared. It was over. And then the second one I went to, people like to say that there's no black people that support Trump. I've got pictures of myself with like 3 different black people, and it's not like I was seeking them out. I was taking pictures with them because they were like so supportive, and they had like all these like crazy clothes on and stuff, like they were at a freaking pep rally. These people were excited. All of like, people do not understand.
I think this is why the Democrats are nervous. You could tell they're
the energy
nervous.
is amazing, Russ. You're right.
You could tell the Democrats are very nervous about their candidates right now, all of them.
They should be. And yes, Frank, we are known for our sweet tea, but we're even more known for our sweet ladies.
I got one more video here, and then believe it or not, that hour flew by. That hour was ridiculous. It went by quick. Where'd it go? We lose it? Oh, it was a good one, too. I think I lost it.
Oh, there's Mr. Bloomberg.
Oh, here it is. Another New Hampshire voter.
Trump. Why? He's the man. He's got the country going.
Did you vote for him in 2016?
I did. Trump.
Why?
Wow. And you're starting to see a lot of... Oh, I'm sorry. What was that, Kimmy?
Well, I just haven't seen yet. The video hasn't come across my screen yet, but it's starting to. Oh, there it is.
If you look at the map of the United States, there's...
Oh, good God. I don't want to listen to her.
If Hillary decides to run for president, I'm going to hide the volume buttons on my remote control. I'm going to put it on mute, hide the volume buttons, and just set that little thing on closed caption.
Well,
because I cannot handle her voice.
I don't think she's on the ballot for any of the Super Tuesday. And if she doesn't go through Super Tuesday, the only way they could do it is to just install her as the candidate at that point,
which would be beautifully ironic.
Wouldn't surprise me, right?
Say it again.
It wouldn't surprise you, would it?
It wouldn't surprise me, and considering how they say that Trump was installed anyway, it would be hilarious.
Here's a clip from Fox News that is addressing the crowds. So I think Fox has picked up on the fact that his crowds are amazing. So
big crowds for Democrats might be 1,000 people or so. Sure. President flies in last night. He's got over 1,000 in the overflow outside. He's got 10 or 12,000 inside.
It's a big crowd, and here that makes a difference. We bounce around. I was at a Biden event yesterday, and there were 150 people in the bottom of a church basement, and he brought out the teleprompters and gave a speech and fired up the crowd, but it was only 150 people.
Right.
Now, 12,000 is a much different story. So it does say something about the power of not only the president to draw people in, but perhaps the message here. I also talked to some voters we talked to 4 years ago, so we went back to them. One of the guys owns a tire shop, and he was really hurting 4 years ago, and now he's never sold this many tires. And he credits the president. He does
big crowds for Democrats.
There you go. You can tell by the crowd sizes. It's unreal. It's unrealistic. You just heard it. Joe Biden has 150 in a church basement.
Which really isn't that terrible. But when you compare it to Trump,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's normal for a political rally. Only political rally I went to, I was like 12 years old with my granddad, and it was like for some local dude that like 50 people, and we had barbecue, and I got stung by a bee. But I don't know what it's supposed to be like. But 150 sounds like a pretty respectable crowd. But it's not 12,000 or whatever they just said. It's not 50-something thousand.
Well, for presidential candidate, you expect over 1,000 at least.
That is a very good point. We're not talking about somebody running for.
Yeah, city councilman gets about 150 in my area for a rally.
Okay.
So.
Oh wow.
What I'm going to do is going to go ahead and open up the chest because Kimmy, we already went an hour. You did an awesome job. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. What is it that Rihanna, there's a quote from Rihanna from one of her songs. I love the way you lie.
Here we go. We're going to open up a chest on D Live. And don't forget, everybody, check out Kimmy on Thursday nights. Where can they find you, Kimmy?
Right here. In this chair. In front of this laptop. In this room. Thursday nights, 11 Eastern. Generally on Periscope, sometimes on D Live. The last couple of weeks I've done D Live only. So follow me on Periscope and follow me on D Live. It's at Y Censored. And I will just surprise everybody with where I show up. And I have a new name for my show. And I will not tell you what it is yet.
It's not the dirty one from Saturday night, is it?
It's not. It's not that one. I decided to go with another one. That was a close second.
Frank 45 says, why censored? If she runs, it's going to be a broken convention because Biden or Sanders won't make it.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know how much time you've got left, probably like 0 minutes because you're on your lunch break. But those Bernie Sanders people are not going to go for what they went for last year. They learned, not last year, but last election. They learned. Nobody else has learned crap from the last election, but these Bernie Sanders people, they know they got the shaft.
That's right. Thank you, Larry Norris Jr. Thank you. We love all you guys too.
Oh, thanks, Larry.
And don't forget to follow and watch The Great Awakening with UK Neil on Sunday night, 5 p.m. Eastern. TAV show, I know it was canceled last week, but TAV show is on Sunday.
2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks? TAV show is on Sunday.
We've been abandoned.
They better get their act together on Sunday night there for TAV show.
If they don't start back up, I'm gonna have to do some crazy stuff like wash my dishes instead, or
do your laundry.
I'm not prepared to have to add responsibility to my life.
Ed Boa makes a pretty good comment here. Bernie Bros will burn down the city. I've already said they will. If Bernie doesn't get it, they are going to burn down the city.
I don't have a hard time believing that.
Well, that's the Project Veritas tapes. If you caught any of those, they flat out said they will riot in every city they can.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying is I believe that they mean what they say and that they will follow it up.
Yep. It appears
I
to
think
me they're
that-
working hard to keep it away from Bernie. That's for sure. The Democrat Party.
I think that they are, and I think that if the Democrat Party had whatever, I think that if things go the way the voters want it to go, that Bernie Sanders will probably get the nomination. But I don't know what's going to happen when it becomes Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump, because none of us are interested in the other candidate. And then we're going to win.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. There's no doubt in my mind about that. We're going to win. And so what are they going to do then if he gets the nomination and we get all the way through the general election and then he legitimately loses? Are they still going to burn down the cities?
They will probably. Well, they rioted during the inauguration in D.C. Antifa.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it wouldn't
Yeah, they
surprise me.
But they also didn't get a fair shake
Well,
that year.
Yeah, Hillary bought the nomination.
So if they're given a fair shake, I don't know what they'll do. Although I do agree with you. I think they'll burn the place down.
Yep.
Or they'll try to. Yeah. So take your extinguishers, boys and girls.
So Frank thinks it's going to be Warren or Klobuchar, but Warren is tanking fast.
She's so...
Between the two, Klobuchar is going up, but I don't think she has a chance either. I think they're shooting for Mini Mike, DNC.
I still think that if the Democrat Party had any sense whatsoever as a collective, that they would back Tulsi Gabbard with everything they've got. She is the only one that has enough of everything. Like, she's the closest one that could actually pull some Trump voters away, potentially. But let them do their thing. If they want to burn down their own party, I would just let them do it.
That's right.
I think that she would be the very best choice for the Democrats.
And with that said, Kimmy, my lunch is over. So don't forget to catch Boogie Bumper tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. He's Monday through Wednesday. Either you're going to love Boogie or you're going to hate Boogie, but he makes you think. So
I said before, I've tried to hate him, and I have not found it to be easy. Every once in a while, I'm like, grr. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't grr.
You can't see me because of where I work at night. They block social media. The only thing I can get is YouTube.
Oh.
So I have to watch it on YouTube. But I think he looks at the D Live chat more than he looks at the YouTube chat. So
he sees the YouTube chat, but not as it's kind of like the kid that won't stop jumping up and down. D-Live is like that kid that won't stop jumping up and down with all of our little dancing gifs and gifs or whatever you call them. And
it's hard to ignore.
We demand attention. Like that one right there.
Yes. All these moving gifs really attract your attention. So
Tuesday.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday, 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll be going through more states, and we're still working on the memes, so we will be getting some of them out on the unopposed candidates. So be looking for those memes. We'll have them out soon. We're going to start, I don't know if you heard it, Kimmy, but we're going to start a giant meme war room with all the Republican candidates.
Okay.
So we're going to try to flood Twitter with it.
Some.
The biggest problem is name recognition. And when you're going up against a well-known named Democrat and you only have a few months, or in some cases a month, to get your name out there because you've been in a tough primary for the entire summer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plan, to try to get the names out there and just flood the internet and make sure Democrats, independents, and Republicans vote for these people all the way down ticket. We need you to vote down ticket.
Yeah. And name recognition is so huge.
Yes, especially when
And
you see all
I've
these
done it
Republicans.
myself.
Well, you see all
I
these
recognize the
Republicans
name and I'm
running
like,
in.
check.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kimmy.
No, I just said I've done it myself. Voted for a person just because I recognized their name, knew nothing else about them except, hey, I've seen that name before.
Right. And don't forget to be on the lookout for Chris Mack and Karen. I think it's going to be called the Mega Show, and they are going to break down the candidates in the Republican primaries for you. We're just giving you the names and some videos and some entertainment. Okay, thank you, everybody. We'll see you, and congratulations to the winners in D-Live. I think it was, who was it? Oh, I can't remember.
I got the little opportunity to push the button, but I'm trying not to take lemons. I find myself whenever I'm commenting in the chat and then a little treasure chest pops up saying that I won, then my thumb just hits it and accepts it. And I try not to accept them because I want the broadcaster to have them.
Well, I didn't see you.
Damn it, I just got more
today.
lemons.
Thank you all for coming. Larry Norris Jr., Frank 45.
Adboa.
Yeah.
Russ.
Thank you all for coming in. We'll see you on Thursday. The Greg D-Live. Don't forget to follow us on D-Live too. We're 35 short on D-Live to get to 200. That
yes,
way we
on
can
D-Live
give you,
as winning_TV.
we can give you bigger rewards when we open up the chest, apparently.
Give you some juicier lemons.
Yes, it increases the lemon count in the chest. So be sure to follow us on D-Live, spread it around so that we can get to 200 and give away more lemons. Thank you all.
Happy Tuesday.
That's right. Vote for Trump
and thank
in New
you,
Hampshire.
Sandra, for asking me to whatever sit here.
Thank you, Kimmy, for joining us and being a guest. Thank you.
It was fun. I love that Batman so much.
Apollo Q. I like that.